channel, Naomi's Niche. Welcome to my world, and I hope that you feel right at home while you're here on my channel. So today I celebrate 1 month since I've shaved my natural hair on July 22nd, 2020. That's like, wow. This month went by so fast. So this video is kind of like a tell-all, just sharing like my experience post shaving my head, how I feel currently, and what I'm planning to do moving forward. So stay tuned. Alright, so initial thoughts. When I first shaved it, to be honest, I did not feel like different. I didn't feel like phased. I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I remember the first time I cut my hair, I regretted it in a sense. I was just like, oh my gosh, Naomi, what did you do? Like, I was like, you can't go back. And I literally put in braids the next day. This time around, I'm still wearing wigs, but more so because sometimes I just feel like it, but it's not a matter of because I don't feel comfortable enough. Like, I just really like wigs, to be honest, and then some days I'm just like, let me just put it on, as opposed to the first time was kind of generally was just, I just did not feel comfortable, right? So today was the first day I was like, let me wear it out today and just embrace and celebrate myself and my hair in this new journey, right? But yes, I have worn wigs leading up to this point. The first time I did wear it outside was when I went to a military base with my family, because my dad's in the army, and that was an interesting experience because I feel like in that environment, people weren't really looking at me like, oh, that's new, or like, why did she shave her head? Because of the environment I'm in. I'm pretty sure maybe some woman there, maybe they shaved their head to join the army, and just to make it easier for them in terms of styling their hair. So I felt like it wasn't anything different. Like, it was funny because one lady, she came over to take our picture because my dad wanted our picture taken, and then she was like, oh, are you dropping off one of the cadets? And I think she thought I was being dropped off, even though she didn't say congratulations to me directly or point towards me. I just knew because of my hair. She just assumed, which, it was interesting, it was funny, but I felt more comfortable in a sense in that environment because I knew that I wouldn't get strange looks, as opposed to if I'm somewhere else. Some people may look and be like, why did she cut off her hair, type of thing, right? Even though I shouldn't care what other people think, but it's still, I feel like it's human to think like, oh my gosh, like, are they looking at me because I cut my hair? So today I decided to like wear it out for the first time on my campus, even though there's not that many people there. And 1 or 2 people who do know me saw, and they were like, oh, I really like it. And then some people, I don't think they realized it was me, if that makes any sense, which was interesting too, because yeah, I don't know, sometimes I feel like if I've seen someone before, like I kind of recognize like their face, but also I have to realize because of the mask, people may not realize it's me either. But anyway, so it was interesting. I felt comfortable, I felt confident. I wasn't really outside, so tomorrow I wear my hair out freely to see, well, not to really see anything, but just to like fully embrace that part. So I'll do that tomorrow, right? Because I'm on duty tomorrow, so I actually could go outside, but at this moment I can't because I'm on duty. But yeah, so it will definitely be 2 different experiences. Maybe tomorrow, like, I'll feel like a different way because I feel like it's more of like a comfort now because I'm inside, even though I did wear it outside, if that makes any sense. But now tomorrow will be like outside on my campus, so it'll be a different experience. But yeah, I want to start like embracing it now, try to like reduce the wig usage. I feel like I've been using it a lot, which is not a bad thing, I feel like you do whatever you feel comfortable with, but I feel like to feel comfortable with and confident with are 2 different things. But as long as I feel like personally I'm wearing it, because I feel comfortable with it and I feel confident wearing a wig sometimes, but most importantly it's like underneath, when I know what's underneath it, and when I do see myself in the mirror, when I don't have my wig on, I feel comfortable, I feel confident. So it's a matter of now allowing that to kind of exude when I'm around other people, if that makes any sense. So sharing how I feel when I'm within my own space with other people. So yeah, just embracing that part more, because if I know I like how I look when I'm inside my room, I should be able to like how I look outside my room. So that's the next part of my journey. But yeah, I could do a whole other video on self-confidence with having your hair short when I get to that point and as I continue on this part of my journey. But yeah, that's basically like the emotional part of me having my head shaved. Reactions from like family, friends. Some people were like, wow, you look so good, while some of the people were like why did you cut your hair and all that stuff. But personally, like, I know why I cut it. I'm excited for this journey, so I'm not really paying attention to some of those things like what other people were saying it as, because I'm just really passionate and excited for this new journey. So moving forward, so basically, because I'm just sharing like my 1 month experience, so since I've shaved my head, I personally feel like my hair is growing back pretty well. I'll insert some pictures I took a picture. What I plan to do is a picture a week just to see how my hair is progressing. And if you can see, like, it's pretty much grown in like pretty full. I'll show you the back. You know, I feel like it's pretty much grown in. This was kind of like a problematic area for me, if you could see. It was like growing in like pretty fine, which I was like kind of confused, because I'm like, was that how my hair was underneath and stuff? So, well, before I shaved it off, and it just makes me realize like certain parts of my hair go faster than others, certain parts of my hair go thicker than others, because I get to see it from basically shaved down to now fully blossoming. Like here, this side of my hair plate grows faster than this side. This side is the thickest, and I always knew this because the texture here is is tighter than the rest of my hair. And here, even the back of my hair, the nape, I always knew it was looser, and even as it grows in, I could definitely tell a difference. So yeah, just little things like that I've noticed. So I've been putting for this area here, as suggested by a friend, and just like my own understanding of like hair growth and like what kind of promotes growth and regrowth in certain areas. So I'm putting castor oil, Jamaican black castor oil, on this problem spot here, and I know I've seen the difference. I believe I know I was filling in back anyway because I was monitoring the area. I said, okay, if this comes back by the full month, I know like, okay, like I'm good, like there wasn't like any issue, but I just let it grow in. I've also been putting black seed oil, and that also is another hair growth oil that stimulates growth and like baldness, like any part where you see like it's like shedding or it's thinning. Black seed oil also promotes that. So the consistency between the two is slightly different. Black seed oil, I feel like it's slightly lighter than Jamaican black castor oil, but Jamaican black castor oil is pretty thick. Black seed oil is not as thick. It's like pretty thin in my opinion, or like medium consistency, and the smells are different as well. I feel like black seed oil has a stronger scent. I'm not really a fan of it that much, but it's doable. So yeah, so I've been using that, and then like I've said in my video where I said that I'll be shaving my natural hair, and I did shave it. I talked about how I'll be incorporating a more natural route to hair care. So this part now, I'll go more into details about what that looks like moving forward for me in my new hair growth journey. So yes, as I mentioned in my other video, I'll be incorporating Ayurvedic hair care routines. So Ayurvedic hair care is, well, it really relates to the holistic approach that started in like the Hindu system, and they just believe that medicine, the way we can heal ourselves, is with herbs, and taking more of a cold press approach. So another belief is that, for example, so that part relates to like the medical aspect of it, so just using herbs and stuff to heal yourself. But in terms of hair care, the Hindu system believes that if you experience balding or your hair is falling out, it's a belief that your hair was basically like burned off, right? Now, in order to grow back those areas, they focus on cold press approach, which I mentioned previously. And what that is using herbs and oils and having it kept in like a cool place, and then eventually putting that back into your hair. Because if you burned off your hair, or your hair was burned off essentially, in order for it to grow back, they want to use a cool approach, because now that's kind of like, in a sense, you could look at it as extinguishing the areas that burned off and now replenishing it with water or anything that's like beneficial for your hair. So that's how I personally view it. So before I even knew what Ayurveda was, I knew I wanted to implement more natural ingredients into my natural hair care practices. And I don't know, I personally feel like, okay, quick disclaimer, I just said earlier, I think I mentioned in the video, that I want to make this video at least 20 minutes because I always talk so much in my videos, but I feel like this is gonna end up with me talking like a whole lot more because I just have so much to say on this topic. So I'm sorry if this video is pretty long. I just had to include that in there. But yeah, so basically I wanted to incorporate more of a natural approach to my hair because I feel like I'm a natural now, but with my whole entire hair journey, I personally feel like I have experienced everything on the spectrum of hair care besides dyeing my hair. And I personally will never dye my hair, only because I feel like I've relaxed it, I've got heat damage, I tried all these things, and it's always resulted in my hair being damaged to some degree. Now, some people will be like, well, your hair can be healthy and you can still dye it, which is true. I have seen also some people with relaxed hair and their hair still grows, but personally, I just don't know what it is with my hair. Like, I'm not saying like everybody's hair is like this, or maybe I'm not doing something right. I could probably not be doing something right, but I just personally feel like I just want to do more natural stuff for my hair. I've seen my hair just thrive in its natural state, so it's like for me to be adding all these unnatural stuff, I feel like it's just gonna like disrupt my hair once again. So I don't want to dye my hair, but also I feel like if I do want to experience color, I could always wear a wig, I could always get box braids, all this stuff, right? So I just personally don't feel like coloring my hair. But yeah, so I say this all to say is that I relaxed my hair. It was not healthy. I transitioned. It was on the verge of being healthy. I went natural. You know, that was the healthiest my hair's ever been, but it got heat damage. Yeah, I've tried all these things, right? And I've tried oiling my hair, I've tried deep conditioning, and the longest my hair ever been is the back of my hair was armpit length. My bangs, I noticed, finally started to grow back. My bangs were like here to here, the longest. It finally grew past my chin at one point, right? And I was so happy because I'm like, I always told myself my bangs could grow back past my chin after all that damage to my hair. I have growing hair. And if that's a misconception within the Black community or a woman of color, a lot of them feel like, oh, my hair can't grow, and your hair can grow. It's just what practices are you doing or not doing that's disrupting or hindering your hair growth, right? So that's what I'm kind of trying to look at. So I feel like I tried everything, you know, but one thing I haven't tried was using solely natural products for my natural hair, or just one or two other things I realized coming up until this point of me shaving my head, that like a light bulb kind of went off in my head, and I was just like, or went on in my head, and I'm like, I didn't try that. I didn't switch up this. So with that understanding, I'm like, this could work. So I say all this to also say, here's what I'm planning on doing. So basically, I personally believe that with natural hair, you should be using natural hair products to grow your hair. Now, this may be controversial because some people may use products, or some people may be like, oh, you need to use black-owned hair products for black hair. But then some people use, for example, Dove or Pantene or Herbal Essence, and it grows their hair. So even with that statement, it's still controversial. It's still kind of like, you don't want to like push your beliefs onto other people, because what may work for you may not work for me, or what may work for me may not work for you. So everything's about experimenting, and I'm probably all over the place in this video, but I say all this to say is that I believe personally that the same way you have diets, or you have a certain eating lifestyle for yourself. For example, some people may be pescatarian, some people may be vegetarian, some people may be vegan, some people just may eat meat, or some people may want the best of both worlds. Some people may have a Mediterranean lifestyle, in terms of like what they like to eat, all that stuff. So I feel like what you're putting into your body, you know, can affect your health. So another thing I started to think about is what you're putting onto your hair affects the health of your hair. And I say this to also say I believe that with hair, your hair can have a diet. And for example, relaxers, or people who relax their hair, they have a certain diet for their hair. They may need more protein. If you want to relax your hair at a certain point, your hair will need a relaxer. If you're transitioning, your hair needs your hair has a different diet. You shouldn't really be flattening your hair or blow drying your hair because you don't want to damage your hair. But if you do want to do it, you may want to use a heat protectant. And if you're natural, you have another diet. You may want to deep condition your hair more often. You may, because of your porosity levels, you may need like a cream that is either lighter or heavier for your hair. All this stuff. And then so kind of like how vegetarian and vegan, it's like two different ends of the spectrum. Then there's the same thing applies for natural hair. There may be naturals who use natural hair products such as Shea Moisture or Carol's Daughter, stuff like that. So natural hair products geared towards natural hair. Or you may be a natural who uses natural ingredients for their hair, such as using the Ayurvedic hair approach, which is something I personally want to do. I really want to focus solely on using the herbs of the earth and everything that I could basically consume and that it's good for me to eat. I want to be able to find ways in which I could put it into my hair to some degree. So some of you may be like, why would you want to do that? I just believe that, or at least one day came to this realization that our ancestors, they didn't have the privilege, like I said in my other video, to use all these high-end products. Now, I'm not talking about ingredients such as like car grease or like butters that you could eat, stuff like that. I mean like ingredients such as like almonds, you know. And when I say butters, I don't mean like shea butter. Like I'm talking about like butter. I can't believe in not butter. Like not putting that in your hair, not stuff like that. But I'm talking about like oils, like extra virgin olive oil that you could put into your hair. You could also consume that. Coconut oil, stuff like that. Because I personally believe that if it's good for the body, it's good for your hair, and it's good for everything else. So the same way water is good for you, it's the same way water will be good for your hair. Now, some people may be like, oh, well, I don't think I could do that. I don't want to put like almonds in my hair for some reason, right? That's just an example. And it's like, you don't have to, you know, like I feel like this type of journey is a matter of experimenting, seeing what works for you. Because the same way, so for example, water is good for everyone, right? Like you need a certain amount of water in order to feel nourished, feel not dehydrated and stuff like that. So everybody needs water basically, but not everybody can consume dairy. Some people are lactose intolerant. Some people are gluten free. They need that in their diet. So everything's about everything's about figuring out what works for you. So for example, this lifestyle may not work for you. You may find that for example, coconut oil may not work for your hair as much as your favorite YouTuber, or you may really like onion juice for your hair, but then your favorite YouTuber doesn't like it. So it's a matter of just figuring out for you. So like I said before, to sum everything up, the same way you have a diet for your body, you need to figure out the diet for your hair and work accordingly to that to ensure you have a healthy regimen to grow your hair. And so far, I feel like my hair has been growing back beautifully in my opinion, and I haven't used any store-bought products as of yet, and I don't plan on it. So, and right now I could just take the time to show you all what I've been using to grow back my hair, like just very briefly, because like I said, I don't want this video to be too long. But I've been using like shea butter. Love this, love this, love this. Keeps my hair moisturized. I love the consistency. It feels thick, but when you really press it down together, it's just pure oils. this is my mix. Can't remember what's in here, but if you want a video on it or whatever, I could do it. I love this and it smells so good. I can show you all another video, like individually, like how to start an Ayurvedic hair care healthy regimen, and just like what to buy, like what I personally bought, how to start it and all that stuff. But I just kind of want this video to be like pretty short and not too long. So if you want another video, just please leave a comment down below. But yes, so I tried different shampoos. I really like briefly go into it. Tried a baking soda shampoo, loved it. But the thing is, so our pH on our scalp is from 3.5 to 5.5. I bought a pH tester, and when I tested it, I realized it was 7.7. That is too alkaline for our hair. And if you want a video in the future about alkaline versus acidic, I could do a video on that as well. And that's too much for our hair, so I had to get rid of that. Tried just a lemon shampoo. I personally feel like that did not work, even though the lather kept trying to do it more and more, wasn't really working. Onion juice, loved that. However, when the mixture I made, it was taking so long to figure out how to make it acidic. Like I was really in the kitchen for such a long time. I will incorporate onion juice back into my regimen in the future, but I won't be trying to make it as a shampoo because that took forever to make, to be honest, and that was like really annoying. But I really did like it as a shampoo though, so I'm definitely going to revisit onion juice again. And finally, I purchased soap nuts and raw soap nuts, I think. I'll leave it in the description box. And Indians typically use this, so you just boil the soap nuts. If you want a video on this, I could be happy to do so. And it just creates this like natural foam, and I've just been using it to shampoo my hair, and it's just been amazing. Like I really love it. I personally feel like it cleanses my hair. It's not stripping my hair, which is another thing. I feel like society kind of tries to tell us like, okay, for your hair to be clean, it needs to be stripped, and I think it's more important to cleanse your hair as opposed to stripping it. But like I said, that could be like a whole another video. But I've been using my soap nut shampoo, and I absolutely love it. So if y'all want a video on that, I could be happy to do so. And I typically, because I'm also using mostly natural ingredients, or not even mostly, all natural ingredients, I do check the pH with my pH tester pretty frequently. If you want a video on that, I could also do that, because I want to make sure that it's natural. So because it's natural, like I don't have all of these store-bought products that say, okay, well that's like keeping the product basically from running rancid. I don't have all these preservatives in it, and because I don't have all these preservatives in it, I'm just, like kind of have to monitor it more frequently. And because of that, I've been checking the scent of it, like maybe once every 3 days or something like that, just to make sure it's not running rancid. I check for the color of it, the texture, all of that stuff. And so far, my shampoo is doing pretty well. And so yeah, I really like that. And I've also incorporated herbal oil infusion. Love that. If you want a video on that, I can do one on it too. And what that basically does is that you mix all your favorite herbs and oils together, and you fill it up to a certain point to cover the herbs, such as like either like rosemary or like rose petals. I think that's the same thing. I'm not sure. I can't remember. This is so dirty for me. Moringa, you know, so all that stuff you put in, and you fill it up with the oil, and then afterwards you let it you put it in a cool place, because the version I used was the cold pressed version, or the cool version. But the hot version is you just boil it, but I feel like the cool version you get the most benefits, because you're really allowing the herbs to be the oils from the herbs to be really drawn out, because it's just sitting there for so long, soaking up the carrier oil. I use personally extra virgin olive oil, and it's really just getting all that nutrients. And after about a week or so, I just put it into my hair, and I still have a lot left over, and I really love it. So I do that as my hot oil treatment. I do that once a week, and yeah, I really like it so far, and I think it's been working like wonders on my hair. Also, so I feel like I'm approaching like the 25-minute mark right now, so I'm gonna like hurry up and wrap it up. But I just want to show you all my stash at the moment. So I thought I was a product junkie before. Now I'm an herb junkie. So these are like the different types of stuff I made. I recently also just did flaxseed gel. Wow, love it. But this is flaxseed, right? Equal style gel food. I'm not using that anymore. Even though I do miss it on hibiscus flowers. And guys, this is what I'm talking about. To be honest, this did cost quite a few, but a lot of this stuff I used, to be honest, or I bought. Like, what the beautiful part about this is because it's solely natural ingredients. For example, when you buy store-bought hair products, you can only use that for your hair. You're not going to consume it. A lot of this I could use for multiple usages. So if it feels like, oh my gosh, like I spent so much money, blah blah blah. No, you didn't, because there's multiple benefits you can use it for. Like, for example, like tea tree oil, right? I could put this in my hair. What else could I do? Well, make sure, because I have a story with tea tree oil where I didn't dilute it properly, so there was an issue with that. But you know, if you wanna, I guess if like you, like I think some people put it on like pimples or stuff like that. Just has like multiple usages for vitamin E oil. I bought this. This kind of helps as a preservative, I've heard. I'm still investigating this just to be sure, so don't quote me. What's it called? I bought Moscow oil. I used to have this when I was younger. I mainly bought it because I really liked how it smelled. I'm still trying to figure out the usage for this. So if you find it or you know what Moscow oil is for, please let me know. But personally, at the moment, I feel like it doesn't really do anything, but I just really like how it smells. What else? See the black seed oil I was telling you all about. Even bought like cinnamon oil if you want like a little rundown of what everything does and stuff like that. Just let me know. But I say all this to say, because hibiscus flower, quick story before I end the video. I showed my mom and I bought it at my local grocery store, and she was basically like, oh, that looks like sorrel. And sorrel, my family's from Trinidad and Jamaica. Sorrel is a drink that Jamaicans sometimes make. It tastes really good, but as I was boiling the hibiscus flowers so I can make my which is right here, my hair perfume. Still working on it a bit. Smells good, but still working on it a bit. Could be a little bit better. My mom's like, it smells like sorrel, and I was like, wait, it does. And then my dad was like, leave him some so you could try and make it. And even though it wasn't, because sorrel, the plant or the herb, whatever it's used for sorrel, it is not the same as the one that's used for it's not the same as the hibiscus flower. So, but even though it's not the same, it still tasted the same and it still smelled the same. So it's just interesting to me because it makes me go back to the whole point was that if you're using these natural ingredients, the multiple usages you can use it for, it's like you're not really spending that much money. In fact, you actually seem to be investing into different parts of your life or your body or whatever. And one more thing before I end the video is during this journey, I think it's important to like protect your hair, and protecting your hair, there's like so many different elements of that. And I say that to say is that I think some people think that you protecting your hair just stops at moisturizing, deep conditioning, or getting protective styles. Sometimes it's a matter of who does your hair. Like I got heat damage because somebody else did my hair. I remember one time I did a really good protective style. I had it in for so long, you know, and I needed help taking it out, and I got help taking it out, and I really felt like all that work that I put into doing the protective style for so long was lost because the way that person helped me take it out, I felt like my hair was like damaged after. Like I had to like trim it because I've seen how that person does their hair, and I should have known better, to be honest. Like no shade or anything, but it's like if you see how somebody else cares for their hair, they're not taking that much care. Nine times out of 10, that means they're not going to care for your hair the same way. So I personally will not really be letting anybody touch my hair like that anymore, like style it as much. And that sounds really bad, but like I really want to make sure like I'm caring for my hair and giving my hair the proper care it deserves. And what I mean basically by that is that your body's a temple, and your body is a temple doesn't just stop at like your physical body. It also starts with your, it also incorporates your hair, and the way you protect your hair should be protected the same way as you protect different parts of your body and your mind as well. So basically just like watch that part, I would say, if you believe in stuff like that. And another thing is, real quick, when my hair does start to grow more, I've noticed that when my hair was braided, when I had on wigs, cornrowed back, at a certain point before I shaved my head, it didn't seem to like being cornrowed back. And when I say this, because anytime I would take it out, it would feel super dry, and I'm like, what is going on? But one time I decided to mini twist my hair under my wig cap. Game changer, and here's why. My hair grows in different lengths, at different lengths, and when I'm cornrowing my hair back now, some people may say that doesn't happen to me, and that's why I go back to the point with the whole diet thing. Everybody has a different diets for their lifestyle. Everybody has different exercising diets for their lifestyle, or exercise routines and stuff. So if you have different routines for different parts of your life and it works for you, you may need a different routine for your hair that doesn't work for someone else, or that it may work for someone else. And it doesn't mean that anything's like wrong with you or wrong with the other person. It just means that that's what works for you. So I say all to say is that personally, I feel like I can't cornrow my hair back. It just does not work for me. My hair is never moisturized, as opposed to when it's mini twisted, and it's actually mini twisted with the length of the hair that's matched with it, my hair thrives. And moving forward, when I do have my hair grow back and I do decide to wear wigs, I will be mini twisting my hair. I'm probably gonna stop box braids and stuff, because I personally feel like every single time I would get a box braid, protective style, or any of those things, my hair just, it just never looked healthy afterwards. Like, I would do everything. I would moisturize it every day. I would even like deep condition sometimes with it on, or like do all these things, and I just feel like my hair just never like liked it. That's what I personally realized. So yes, some of you may be like, that's not true. Yes, it may not be true for you, but it may be true for me, and it is true for me, because I know my hair and I deal with it often. But yeah, I don't want this video to be too long. So, but if you all want more in-depth stuff, or want to hear me talk about like different hair care routines, if you want me to go more in depth about like the whole natural hair diet thing and a whole bunch of other stuff, if you want to see more of my product stash, I'll be happy to do those videos. And I'll make them more precise, as opposed to this jumbled video right now. But yeah, I hope you all liked this 1 month update, how I'm doing with my new growth. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. You got something out of it. Let me all know what you think. Do you think you will incorporate more herbs into your hair care routine, more oils, more natural ingredients? Let me know what works for you, what doesn't work for you, all that stuff. And most importantly, I hope that you're all doing well during this difficult time, and you're staying sane, you're just staying safe as much as possible. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.